Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, the girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the ISCA Super Cup Series from Homestead Miami Speedway, the Hooters 250. We are live tonight from iRacing. Look at it, it's a beautiful day in beautiful Miami. I'm Joe LaCastro, joined in the booth by Big Al and Sheldon Atkins, down in the truck by Kobe Jordan, and we've got 167 laps of racing for you tonight with the boys from the ISCA. But let's go ahead and get everybody introduced here. Big Al, how you doing this evening?
Hey, Joe, how's it going, man? It's gonna be a great race tonight. I can just feel it right here in the bottom of my little race seat. Ooh.
Yeah, I think I feel it too. You got a butt kicker installed? That's, of course, one of our sponsors.
Hey, absolutely,
that must be what you're feeling.
feeling.
And Sheldon, how you doing?
Probably one of the best tracks on the service.
There it is. All right. Well, it is one of the best tracks on the service. I think we lost your mic there for just a brief second, Sheldon. But we hear you now. No, yeah, now you sound loud and clear. But let's take things out to the track and get a look at Miami. Here we got the boys in the warm-up right now. Getting ready to put things on. Let's talk about the conditions here. Why don't you take us through what's going on at Miami there, Big Al?
Yeah, man, right now, sitting here at beautiful Homestead, Miami. Today's just one of those great days where the air temperature's 77 degrees, if you can believe that. Right here on the track, though, is 105 degrees, which means those cars are going to be nice and sticky. Track length here at Homestead's 1.48 miles. Stages of the night's race is going to be 35, 60, and final laps at 167. Drivers will have 6 sets of tires, 5 in the pits, 1 on the car, and a few range. Looks like it's going to be around 65 laps.
That's not bad. Looks so we're going to be able to make it through stage 1 pretty easily here. It's going to be a nice straight run to the end. And then we've got a few stage breaks to get things through. So it's going to be a game of a couple different strategies here. But the first strategy, I think, is going to be drive hard. Let's see about the keys to the race. Get them up here, and I'll run down them real quick here. First things first, the ability to run multiple lines. Homestead's got enough room for you to make that a reality. So you can take advantage and use the top line, use the middle line. I mean, I was going to say use the bottom line. Hell, use the middle line. It's all there for you, and they're viable in a lot of ways here, thanks to the way that the banking works. So that's key number 1. Key number 2. Manage loose off conditions. So when you come off of the turns here, especially in 3 and 4, you're going to be a little bit loose coming out of those turns compared to 1 and 2 especially. So you got to be careful with that. It's going to come up to bite you. And as the tires get worn out, as things go on and they start to work through those 6 tires sets, the 5 tire sets that they've got behind the wall there, it's going to change over time. So watch out for that loose off condition and don't let it bite you, or don't let the wall come to bite you. And third, pit road entry. Watch those barrels. Watch those barrels. There are some barrels on the pit road entry that are, if you're going to make an aggressive entry, you could aggressive yourself right into them. So go ahead and watch out for that. And I've seen some pretty aggressive pit road entries where the guys come squealing across just to make sure they don't get that black flag where they have to wait for a little while. So watch out for those barrels, or watch out in this case. And those are going to be our keys for tonight's race. Anybody want to add anything to that list?
How it matters, how much it matters to be able to run whatever line you want. You're going to be searching for grip from the start of this thing to the end.
And searching for grip they are. Look at this. Some action out of the 87 here.
There's old Preeby. Pretty fitting paint scheme here at Homestead, too. You see all the palm trees all over that machine. Very vaporwave, that 87 car.
Very vaporwave. Joey Preeby in the 87. I got to get my...
taking the road course. Guess this would be a Joker lap here for the 87. Oh, burning it down.
All right, looks like warm-up's coming to a close, guys. Getting ready to take this thing on into qualifying. Now, qualifying's a little bit different than the race, so guess who you guys got for the pole? Let's talk about it.
Oh, that's a very good question. You see, I consulted the crystal ball, and my pick for tonight's race is the number 21 of Patrick Gitter. I just got a good feeling. In practice, he had some really, really good times up there on the board in a stacked field of good drivers. So let's see that 21 take it away tonight. How about you, Al?
Well, I'd also pick Patrick Gitter to be actually a fast man down there tonight as well.
All right, 2 for 2. Sheldon?
Well, everybody's going Patrick Gitter, but I think I'm going to have to lean in over here to Dr. Ben Kyron's boy of Joey Preeby in that 87 machine. Saw a lot of speed out of him last week at Las Vegas, and a lot of the things you used there translate beautifully here to Homestead, Miami. And I think that this might be his night to get that notch in the belt loop, so to speak.
Yeah, Preeby, one of the guys who did not have a time in practice, so I didn't get a good feeling off the top there. But let's see how he's doing during qualifying here. And Kobe, let's see what you got down there in the truck. He's going to throw up one of his own here in a second. The number 6 of Brandon Pasalacqua. A very good choice.
Can I change my pick just for giggles here, just to make it interesting? I'm going to go with Clayton. That way we're not doubled up on Gitter. I'll go ahead and take the 92 of Mr. Hoffman.
You want to spread out the commentator's curse, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely. Get a little love for everybody.
Well, Hoffman, that's a good pick right there. It's pretty good here at Homestead. Always scrappy on these mile and a halves.
There we go. Nice full field of picks there. So we've got everybody across the board here. Let's take a quick look at the point standings. Where things stand right now, Patrick Gitter is out in front. Matt DeCiani in second. Derek Hyten in third. Brendan Pasalacqua fourth. Paul Hill in fifth. Joey Preeby in sixth. Tim Wortman in seventh. Clayton Hoffman in 8th, Brian Johnson in 9th, and rounding out the top 10 championship points earners, Randy Mullins. Now, I wasn't here last week. Who took it away? I admit that I only watched the beginning of the race. I had to go to sleep. I was feeling so sick.
That'd be old Kobe's pick over there, that 6 machine to pass Lacqua.
Okay. That's a solid pick
great
going into this week then.
Yeah, it was a great performance too. He really played his strategy out well with his tires and his fuel saving, and was just there at the end when it mattered.
Well, that's the moment you got to be there, and if you can play it out and make it to the end through the gauntlet that leads up to it, you're going to be a happy man. Right now, we see everyone finishing up their laps coming around here. If we look at some of the times people have been setting, Gitter is up there at the top right now. He looks like he's going to be sitting pole position right now. We got a couple other picks around there. Preby and Brandon Pasalacqua are roughly around the same time, only within a few about 2 tenths apart from each other.
Well, water's wet, palm trees grow in Florida, and Fortis cars are fast.
And the Fortis team is fast. That's very accurate.
Unfortunately, guys,
says Big Al.
They're going to make us run all of the laps tonight. So we're not going to be able to crown a winner just yet. Not even on lap 60. Got to wait all the way to lap 167.
Wait to 167?
They're going to make us run them all.
If we'd have called it early last week, man, it would have been Gitter. But at last 40 laps of that thing, old Pasalacqua just snuck up there, Kevin Harvick style, and shotgunned that lead away from him.
It could really be anybody's race up to that last moment. And folks, if you are tuning in right now, he's riding the wall right there.
Looked like he was trying to rub that gas and go logo off the side of that thing. Looked like he was trying to make it a scratch and go, huh?
Just had enough of it, and it was time to say goodbye. That would be the 24 of Kenny Powell doing his best to scratch that gas and go logo right off the wall there.
As long as you don't end up with a scratch and sniff, he should be good. But Kenny's out here practicing for, what's most important here, that diversity of lines. You want to be able to get that car right up against the fence. Use that air pocket, that little bit of side force that's generated between the right rear quarter panel and the car itself and the wall itself. Given it's a lot harder now with these next-gen cars because there's no flat panels on these things like we used to have. But if you can get it up there and get on that cushion, so to speak, is what they basically call it, it'll really help you maintain great momentum down these long straightaways here at Homestead.
It's always a terrifying run. We'll see what happens. But now we're going to take a quick break for our national anthem.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Driver, start your engine!
Welcome back, folks. We are here once again live with the ISCA Super Series, live from Homestead Miami Speedway, brought to you by Butt Kicker, among other names. I'm Joe LaCastro here with Big Al and Sheldon Atkins, and the race is about to get started. Let's do the grid. In your pole position tonight, it's going to be Patrick Gitter, and then on the outside, Matt DiCiani. Third, Derek Heitman. Fourth, Tim Wortman Jr. Fifth, Joey Preby. And in sixth, Brandon Pasalacqua. Seventh, Randy Mullins. And in eighth, Greg Carr. Ninth, Brian Johnson. And in 10th, Chris Crosby. Take it away, Al.
And that's going to put Mark Sanchez in 11th place with Randy Belk in 12th. 13th place is going to show you Josh Schaffner and Alexander Carr in 14th. 15th place, it's going to be Jeremy Clapper Newell with Dave Feuds Jr. on the outside in 16th. 17th place, Jose Medina. He's going to have Jerry Walters on his outside. 19th place is going to be Paul Hill with Jay Honey rounding out the top 20. Sheldon.
In 21st place, we got Greg Wachinski, followed by Kevin Zosiak in 22nd. 23rd is going to be J.C. Evans with Vincent Crowe starting 24th. 25th place, Nick King with Randy Drumhiller in 26th. 27th place is going to be Bacon Zelenka, followed by Kenny Powell in 28th. 29th position is going to be Chuck Burley, and rounding out the top 30 here on the grid is going to be Jason Hand.
We've got just a few more here. 31, it's going to be Connor Banks. 32, Blair Holloman. 33, Clayton Hoffman. 34, Paul Olson. 35, Ryan Strunk. 38, John Binder. 36, John Binder. I jumped a few. And 37, David Gervais. Nice full 37-car grid.
You want to go for a ride? I'd say put a camera on that 36 starter, John Bender, the 23 machine. Every week we watch him start shotgun on the field, and somehow by the end of stage 1, he's worked himself up to just outside of the top 10. I'm expecting the same results here tonight.
You know, if that 23 just was a Ford, I mean, it would be perfect. The number 23, he's from North Carolina, Sun Drop, which is God's golden nectar. I mean, this guy, he's a total package just in a Chevrolet.
This is the one sin he's got going against him, huh?
It's the one thing he's got going against him.
Well, he's starting from the back there with another couple of the faster drivers on the field. We got Clayton Hoffman also without setting a qualifying time, who's starting from the back of the field. Might be a prudent move. Are you guys expecting us to stay green here for a while, or you think it's going to be a show into the first couple of turns here?
I think patience is going to be the biggest virtue that these guys are going to have tonight, guys. And so as long as they are patient and try to get the tires warmed up to operating temp, I think this thing could possibly, I think we could get a lengthy green flag run or two.
Also, Big Al, I hate to break it to you, brother, but real men typically wear bow ties.
Yeah, especially while they're serving those upper-class Fordsmen.
Oh, the bow tie. I see. It took me a second.
Look, you had me on the Ford thing until I remembered that the 98 round body teardrop Taurus existed. I'd somehow managed to kill the chat before we even started this thing off. Let's go, guys.
I'm trying. No. I'm trying here.
No, you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't remember that the Taurus actually was one of Ford's production line NASCARs, and it was a sleeper as well.
Yeah, but sleeper or not, it was a sleeper because nobody wanted to look at it in the first place.
Hey, look, I'm not going to get into this with you.
I'm just here.
Friendly rivalry up here in the booth. What do you drive, Joe?
What do I drive? I
drive
a Ford Escape.
Oh, I figured you to be I was thinking more.
I was expecting Kia Soul or Kia Soul or something like that.
Isn't the car
I see what you guys think of me.
Hey, isn't that the car that the mascot of is a rat?
I don't know. The Ford Escape or the Kia Soul?
The Kia Soul.
I don't know. All I know is I drive a Ford Escape 22, and the story of how I bought that car is a long, sad, stupid story that I'm never going to share on the air.
Yeah, man. My mother drives an Escape, so I totally get it.
Hey, man, we got 2 laps till green. We got 2 laps till green. You better start spinning.
Oh no. Okay. Bought a car. It was not the car that I needed, and it ended up I traded it in to the same dealership, and then I had to buy another car, and so I ended up with payments for effectively 2 cars because the trade-in wasn't worth a lot. So I screwed myself over.
Old freecreditreport.com there, baby.
I should have. Yeah, long story short, don't ever let me try to give you a suggestion on a car to buy or how to buy a car. I am a damn fool.
Oh, we're 1 to green here. Hang on, pace car's making that dive in to start this thing off. 37 drivers on the field here. Who's going to pull the magic out here in the Magic City? Green flag is out here at Homestead.
They're already getting themselves sorted out into 2 lines still. Use those multiple lanes. It hasn't collapsed yet. There's still a high line, and I think there is going to be all night long here as Gitter heads up into the wall, and not in literally. He just gets close to it. Don't want to make it seem like he's been hitting it. And Pasalacqua back there, I think a little bit just popped out. Looks like he's going to try to make a move, but the front line has started to collapse down and has started that sort of single file action here at Homestead as we get ready to come through the back half of lap 1, or through the first lap of the race. Ugh, I can't talk tonight, guys. Take it away.
Heavy contact with the wall there. The 22 machine of Fuge coming out of turn number 4, just washed up a little bit, got up into the gray. Looks like he lost the front of it, scraped the fence. Doesn't look like there's too much damage, but definitely a hit to the momentum.
And who's that up in the front? I just see every time that they come out of the turn into the straight, that's when people are trying to make that move and sort of get the nose out, see where they can put themselves. If they can get on the inside by the time that the turn starts, they might have a chance. Derek Heitman up here in 3rd was making that move earlier, but there's a lot of action still happening a little bit further back in the field, guys. We're at a 2-wide situation with Dave Fuge Jr. right now on the outside of Vincent Crowe. Vincent Crowe is just a little bit ahead of Clayton Hoffman. Looks like Jerry Walters is there too. Very busy in the back.
Yeah, absolutely. In the back, that's where they are still trying to be almost 3 wide right there with Clayton Hoffman far high on the outside. He's going to have the 22 down low thinking about it. But, man, like you said, it's really, really sporty here in the rear.
I was just going to point out, Clayton Hoffman started 33rd. He's already up to the 19th position here at the line and still sawing away. High, wide, and handsome, just about an inch off the fence. A little twitchy, a little bit of contact with Fuge, but everything stays straight.
So close. They're all 3 wide there.
Well, Clayton essentially has been 3 wide as he's been running all the way around the outside, high around the outside, just trying to make up those lap positions and also to demonstrate just how dominant and fast that car is possibly going to be here tonight.
The Rangers picked up 3 spots in 1 corner there. Lap 5 already up to the 16th position from 33rd. That's crazy.
What a jump. A couple other big jumpers. Ryan Strunk is up 13 places, but he's still back in 22nd. But Paul Hill, we're talking Clayton Hoffman. Paul Hill has been leading him with enough speed and keeping him going that Clayton Hoffman hasn't had to try to get around Hill yet. But the 2 of them together have been making up some places. Hill sending it 3 wide briefly there as we come across the start-finish line.
Yeah, the 33 of Randy Belk right there getting a little bit squirrely on the inside. They actually lost the pace, and that's caused that to go 3 wide. Clayton Hoffman now is going to make his way around the outside of him as he continues his quest to get to the front.
And the front has definitely smoothed out a little bit. We got a 5-car run in the front right now. Gitter, DeCiani, Heitman currently leading things. These guys look like they've settled into the long run a little bit. I'm not seeing quite as much aggression out of this front 5 as we've seen previously. And then behind them, we've got some gaps forming, some pretty sizable ones. Where unfortunately it looks like some cars are going to have to make up some distance on their own, but Hoffman is not a part of that problem. He is shooting through those gaps. Every time he comes to one, he's just making up the space, and he's up 20 positions now.
And now, with eyes on 12th place. Oh, big slide in front of him, huge momentum break from the 25 machine. Really gonna bottle this field up coming into turn number 1. Greg Carr got real loose, clipped the apron a little bit here, and that's gonna pull everybody right back to the 92 machine of Hoffman as he goes right up against the fence into 1.
Still watching him now. He's going to be coming high around the outside of Mark Sanchez. Biggest mover so far as we're still watching Clayton. Now definitely going to have the 25 of... Oh, I'm off a little bit. Sorry, he's going to have the 26 of Paul Hill is going to be the next candidate. And just like that, guys, Clayton Hoffman is knocking on the top 10.
And here he is to the top. And he's in 10th place coming into turn number 1 here. And I think he's going to keep it. That 26 of Hill looks really loose on corner exit.
Paul Hill's actually been having a couple good races as of late. You know, actually getting off to a pretty good start. I think he's in the top 10 in points, if I'm not mistaken.
And Law's been running really well this year. Did really good at Coda, too, if I remember correct.
Yeah, indeed he did.
Out in the lead, we're on lap 10. We're going to 35 in stage 1, folks. So we've still got 25 laps left to go, 26 laps left to go. Patrick Gitter's out in front. Things are still holding steady there. The action that we're looking for is a little bit further back, though. We've got 2 wide by 2 wide right now for 22nd. Dave Hughes Jr.'s on the outside with the 37 of Kevin Zosiak. Jay Hone is down on the inside there with Zosiak. Hone holds on to the inside.
Battle for second, heating up though. Heitman got the drop down to the inside of DeCiani through 1 and 2. Not able to get that momentum though. That one machine of DeCiani going to charge by on that outside line and clear him down the back straightaway. Heitman looking though.
Yeah, he's got that dog in him.
Looks like he's got the bull right now though. New paint scheme for the 76 machine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, victory. Looking good. Back a little ways. Bacon Zaleka with a good move down to the inside of the 22. He makes that pass. Very good move there in the new mane and tail scheme there for Zaleka. He's got the inside locked up. Looking solid. Zosiak's on his tail right now. Mane and tail. Zosiak loose! Into the wall. Diffuge into Zosiak. Ooh!
Hard contact. Caution is out. Oh, and they're still wrecking.
That's going to be the yellow flag, the first of the night, folks, on lap 13. Unlucky 13 here.
Yeah, we collected a couple bodies here. We're going to have Dave Hughes Jr. in the 22 car and J.C. Evans in the 9 car. Both of those gentlemen are going to be repairs required, possibly even going behind the wall, guys, especially this early in the contest. It could go either way.
Yeah, big slide. Just real bad loose condition out of, I think, the 17 machine there. No, that's the 37. Zosiak.
Was that
nowhere? Just listen, Drumhiller. Did you see how close Randy came to getting tagged on that right rear?
Yeah, he came right through, but then it was J.C. Evans who got the actual meat of that bite, unfortunately. And that is going to be an unfortunate situation for these drivers this one out of the race, just like you said, Big Al. And this is probably, boys, that loose off condition that we were just talking about in the keys to the race. I'm surprised that it came out this early. But
you know what didn't come out?
He just came out of that turn.
You know what didn't come out? The caution came out, but we didn't do our over-under for caution. So I guess we'll do the +1, and let's just go ahead and figure that one out. You want to start us off, Joe?
I'm going to say, based on this experience right now, I'm going to say 4. Including this one. So 3 more.
Okay, so your total number's 4. What do you got, Sheldon?
Put 7 on the board tonight.
Sheldon throwing up a big 7. Kobe below going to let you run it. Kobe's going to come in with 3. And I'm going to go ahead and just, I guess I'll make it official and pick 5.
All right, very good, very good. We all got a good set of estimates here, I think. Hopefully we won't have too many. We do like some green flag racing here in the ISCA, but we've got it's a lot of racing left to go.
Hey, and if you're at home and you want to chime in, go ahead and throw it in the comments and throw your numbers in, and maybe we can see what we got here and have a little party, see who gets closest.
That would be wonderful. Yes, please do. All the interaction we can handle, we can take it. Go ahead and pop into the chat. Send us a hello, your thoughts, who you're picking for tonight's race, the over-unders, all that good stuff. As the lights are now off on the pace car, we're getting ready to go. Coming back to the green. 1 to go. I'll let Sheldon handle the official restart here.
I'm watching right now as Oziak limping around the track trying to catch back up to the field here. The car is still very well torn up.
Yeah, I got a camera on him too. That's rough.
You know somebody that's really helped, though? This wreck right here, this caution really playing into the hands of the 92 machine Hoffman, who really got out there and charged early and probably burnt off a lot of that Goodyear rubber.
Well, it's funny you brought that up, as I was actually watching the lap times, and on that last lap that they were running before the caution came out, Clayton was actually still fastest by like 0.2 of a second. So I don't know. He's doing pretty good.
His car dives down, flag in hand, into the Geico restart zone. Gitter leads him, the green flag in the air. Good, clean start for Patrick Gitter. DeCiani caught sleeping a little bit, and Heitman tucking right up to the back bumper of the 21 machine of Gitter into turn number 1.
Pretty good start for most of the field, I gotta say. Honestly, everybody got a nice smooth roll off the line there. Passalacqua down briefly down to the inside line, back up to the outside now. He's kind of commanding that position, 5th all by himself there on the inside. Oh, now to his outside, though, comes Tim Wortman Jr., just trying to look for the quarter panel. Not quite there. He's falling back now, says no. Holds on. Behind him, Hoffman like an angry bull. Good way to reference that earlier. Hoffman is just angrily trying to find a spot. Maybe not angrily, maybe aggressively, but he's doing it. He's now putting it 3 wide high on the outside, trying to make the pass. Can he do it there? Looking for it on Brian Johnson and on the 54 of Randy Mullins.
Yeah, he's sneaking by a couple of those Paradigm guys, but I'm going to tell you one driver who did not have the best start, but he's still up front, currently in 4th place. That's going to be Derek Heitman. Heitman, for whatever reason, it couldn't get it engaged, but now seems to be holding his own. But speaking of that, there's Hoffman as he gets by the 83 to 10 Wortman Jr.
Look at the momentum Hoffman is able to carry into the corner and still somehow be able to make it stick on the through center and exit. That 92 machine is fast. I mean, we just watched him take a 2-for-1 special at Gapplebee's there into 1 and 2 about a lap ago. That thing is just charging.
Absolutely, probably the best way I could have ever heard anybody describe what just happened. That is accurate. As here he comes again, high on the outside. Passalacqua is probably going to be one of his toughest challenges here. Himself a very good driver, but if he gives the bumper to him a little bit and says, "Hey, I'm feeding this thing nitrous. You got to get out of here," he's going to get out of the way. And now it looks like they're side by side. Passalacqua giving the position a little bit, giving him some room, and tucking it in now behind Clayton Hoffman, who's up 28 positions to 5th.
You really got to appreciate the sportsmanship of the 6 of Brandon Passalacqua letting the 92 go, because remember, he didn't catch him because he thought he was cute. He caught him because he's faster than him, and he's not done yet. It's now who's got his sights set on both the 87 of Joey Preby as well as the 76 of Derek Heitman. Currently side by side, but Preby's going to go high, trying to hold a position, taking a page out of Clayton's playbook, but I don't know if it's actually going to hold. But right now, he's still going to be holding in what appears to be 4th place.
Heitman just about cleared himself off the nose of Preby. Stuffed Preby up into the grade just a little bit. Almost was a huge wreck right there in front of Hoffman, but everybody going to keep it straight. But no, everybody in this field now has noticed that you can go up against that fence and still be fast after at least 13 laps. And everybody's taking note of that. You see that right there, Heitman taking the line, taking the air away from Hoffman into turn number 1. But here comes Hoffman slinging it down to the middle and splitting the middle. And he's going to get the spot.
I just watched that exchange occur. Heitman just ground the wall and lost all the momentum during that turn. If you just gave the position to Hoffman here. Now Hoffman's in a position that he's happy to be in, being outside of the main defense that he had to get through right there was Heitman, and now he's sitting behind Joey Priebe. So we'll see how defensive Priebe gets here as Hoffman is looking yet again to make the jump, this time to third.
I know everybody at home sitting there saying, man, they keep talking about Clayton Hoffman, but ladies and gentlemen, he is the biggest mover. This guy started all the way back, and I believe to be 33rd spot, and now he's made his way all the way up to 4th spot. So, yeah, way to go, Clayton. But right in front of him, Joey Priebe still trying to maintain his spot on the podium as he follows Matt DeCiani, who's still trying to chase Patrick Gitter, your leader.
Tell you what, it may have been easy for Hoffman to get up into at least the top 10, but now that he's up here into this top 5, into this top 3, this podium hunt, it's going to be a lot more difficult, a lot more, no disrespect to anybody in the field, but a lot more capable drivers. A lot of drivers have a lot more practice time and experience here at the track and slightly better setups. It's going to be really difficult for Hoffman, but, I mean, it's not looking like it's much of a challenge, though, because you see him just drawing right up to the back bumper of the 87 machine of Priebe.
Ooh, Preeby's super loose there, but he's going to get up on the 4, have enough speed coming out of that turn. Really squeezing right now. Holding on. Brian Johnson just having to cycle out there.
Yeah, DeCiani.
Yeah. Oh, it's DeCiani,
second place position here to Priebe, but he's going to try and fight him with a crossover down the back straightaway. Here he comes pulling a side draft. Get right to the door. Is he going to be able to clear him? No. Preeby's going to pinch him down the track. But Preeby's going to get loose up there in the middle lane.
Yeah, he's running loose right now. There's a lot of action happening up here at the front. There is some action happening in the midfield, though, too. A little bit. Jose Medina moving up, but up here at the front is really where it's at.
Got a lot going on right here, guys. I've been watching the battle go transpire between Vincent Crowe, Ryan Schwinn, Chris Cosby, and also now Josh Schaffner has joined the fray. These guys have been battling side by side, almost 3 wide at times, just trying to make it work. And I possibly got a feeling that this is where the flagman's watching also.
Yeah, I would be too, because right now Strunk seems to be leading things in this little crew. Though behind him, almost putting it 3 wide. There comes a big block right now. Vincent Crowe, a big block to the 50 of Josh Schaffner. He says, no, you're not going to get around me before I work Strunk here. Very good defensive move back there.
Yeah, definitely. Almost in a position that these guys are going to be throwing shoes at each other. And you see that utilizing every single line. That was one of the talking points there. But Ryan Strunk right now seems to have found the line that has been the most plentiful. But Vincent Crowe, guys, he is making that 77 Chevrolet about as wide as any car I've seen on this track today.
That's definitely a good way of putting it. Check in really quick, back up in the battle at the front. Patrick Gitter has taken away a bit of a lead. He's a second ahead right now of Joey Priebe. Priebe is holding off Matt DeCiani and Clayton Hoffman. Hoffman is putting it hot to the heels of DeCiani. DeCiani down to the inside now, finding enough speed to get ahead of Priebe. It looks like he's going to take second. Priebe falling back to third now. Oh, maybe not. Hoffman still back there while Priebe is able to use that speed. And unfortunately, the deal was not sealed. DeCiani got ahead for the turn, but then could not stay up there.
Yeah, that's one thing we always say. It's one thing to catch a guy. It's something completely different to pass him. And completing that pass, especially in a track like Homestead. Guys are going to appear to have that momentum as you see the 87 going high around the outside. And then one of Matt DeCiani, he is still right there. We know that the high line is the fast line, so it's going to be interesting to see if DeCiani doesn't actually try to change it up a little bit and maybe fake low and end high.
Good possibility. Let's see what happens this time.
Looking at the scoreboard here, another guy I got to give a huge shout out to, a little round of applause, if you will, is that 77 machine of Ryan Strunk. Started this thing 35th, no qualifying time on the board. Both laps, I think, got disallowed. Up here, running in the 11th position right now. Just a couple second or so back from the 4 machine of Brian Johnson. Of course, he's got a hornet's nest behind him right now.
He does. He's got Crow and he's got Schaffner, who are both looking for positions there. Crow has stopped the heavy defense. And now we're on, I think, actually we're going to 35 for the stage. Is that right?
No, yeah, Rogers.
Yep. So you're keeping me on my toes, Big Al. I appreciate that. We got a few more laps to go till we get to the end of stage 1. Oh, now
Strunk in
the
the
wall
wall
goes Strunk. Yeah, watching the same guy here. Strunk just keeping himself awake just a little bit. Hopefully not into Schaffner. Nope, just misses him by a little bit. The two of them not making contact there as everybody comes back around into 3 and 4.
Schaffner down to the bottom. Strunk kind of slow up there on that outside line, though. Schaffner getting a really good run, chasing it back up the hill. Strunk going to use momentum to pull him down the front straightaway, though. It's going to clear the 50 machine as we come into turn number 1. Oh, but Strunk diving down, giving up the spot.
Those good years, man, they're going to be screaming right about now. So tires definitely going to be coming into play here, guys.
Ooh. Yeah, the fall off is really heavy on Strunk. I don't know if something happened or if he's lost control of the vehicle, but he has given up position after position. He is being absolutely eaten for breakfast right now.
And Kenny Powell now to the inside for the 13th position on Vincent Crow. Will slide right back up in front of him. He's going to take it. Looks like the boss man's got something to dig with today.
I love to see it. ISCA livery, very, very good. That 24 has made it 16 positions up today. Crow himself up 11 positions behind him. So the two of them have been doing a pretty fantastic job so far of holding on to things and keeping it even here. And the 76, though, let's take a look right now. Derek Heitman makes a move down the inside of Brendan Pasalacqua. Briefly puts it too wide. He's got the length, but Pasalacqua's got the momentum. And it looks like we can confirm that Blair Holloman and Dave Fuchs Jr. are behind the wall. Take it away, Sheldon.
Hoffman right now down to the inside of Preby. This is the battle for second place. Race leader Patrick Gitters run away from the field. But Hoffman, arguably one of the fastest cars here tonight in this first stage, all over the back bumper of the 87 machine. And this is really just going to be the main racer position here before we check this thing out for the end of the stage. Is Hoffman going to be able to get there in time? Down to the inside quarter pound, trying to pull him back.
Here comes the last lap for the stage.
They still got a race to the 10th place.
Hoffman dives down to the bottom there in 1 and 2, and he's going to clear this position. He's going to get second place. Not enough time to get to the rear bumper of Gitter, but man, up 31 spots from the start of this thing. That is just absolutely impressive.
There's the start-finish line. It's coming.
And across the line, Patrick Gitter going to win stage number 1. The walk-off.
Wow. 31 places in 35 laps is really something else. In a field that had some great drivers in it. We had the one yellow that worked well into his favor, but still 31 places in 35 laps, insane for Clayton Hoffman. We got a lot of other great drivers to talk about too as the night goes on. So let's talk. We'll do a quick rundown of the top 10 at the end of the stage here. It was Patrick Gitter, Clayton Hoffman, Joey Preby, Matt DeCiani in 4th, Derek Heitman in 5th, Brandon Pasalacqua in 6th, Randy Mullins in 7th, Paul Hill in 8th, Brian Johnson in 9th, and Tim Wortman in 10th. We're going to take a little commercial break, folks. When we come back, more from ISCA Live. So stick around. Don't go nowhere.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, a girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
Welcome back to the ISCA Live. We are up here in the booth with Patrick Gitter. Patrick, can you hear us?
10-4, I got you.
Hey, congratulations on that Stage 1 win, my friend. What are you feeding that thing tonight?
Man, a lot of credit to Matt DeCiani. He hooked us up with a hot rod this week. Still feeling it out here and there. Maybe some changes we want to make for varying track conditions and some rotation at certain parts of the track. But overall, man, this thing's been great this week.
It really is. You know what? We've been watching you slowly pull away from the field. You've got a lot of competition coming up behind you, though. Have you been looking in the mirror and seen Clayton Hoffman?
Yeah, I figured he was going to make quick work. So, not surprised to see him up here. You got Joey, Derek, Matt, Brandon. I mean, all the regulars up here that are going to put up a good fight. So, I think a lot of us up here will certainly have our hands full with the competition.
I think you will, but you know what? It looks like you guys have got it in lock so far. You got Clayton on the outside for this restart. Is there anyone you want to shout out to real quick?
Yeah, man. You guys up in the booth for broadcasting tonight. Kenny from the league, Fortis Motorsports, Matt DeCiani, and Carl Dodson. I mean, great team effort this week. So looking forward to see what the rest of this race has got here.
And so are we. Thank you for your time, Patrick, and good luck with the rest of the race.
All right, appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
That was Patrick Gitter. We're back at it, boys. You heard it here. He's Matt DeCiani set him up with a real rocket, and the two of them are riding it straight to the moon.
The iRacing pace car here. Stage 1 in the books. Getting ready for Stage 2 here. Shaking up Gitter versus Hoffman on the front row. Gitter's all the way up from 33rd position. Gonna be interesting to see what he does up here at the start, but green flag is already out. Patrick Gitter with a commanding launch here over the rest of the field. I'm going to clear, get up there and take that outside line, get back down to the bottom. And they're 3 wide behind him for fourth.
Ooh, the 76. I believe Derek Heitman there putting a bumper to the back of the 92 at probably an inopportune time, but the 92 is going to do what he has to do. Now he's going to come down, solidify that position. Now he's got P2. Put the nose in on.
We got a wreck behind.
Caution.
We had one up into the wall at the back of the pack.
That looks like Ryan Strong.
Trying to see who that was, yeah.
I think that was a 78. Yep. Not strong, but he struck it.
The 78.
It's a Crosby right there.
Crosby, thank you.
See if we can get a good view of what happened here. I think a little bit of contact possibly from behind. Oh, no, he just got in there. It was a little squirrely coming in.
Yep.
And comes right down to the bottom. Just was not clear on the 12 machine, and around and backwards into the fence he goes.
And he is beat up right now. Oof, that car is in need of some chiropractic adjustment.
Yep, but it's all the damage is repairable.
Yeah, he's going to be all right.
Like
After that hit, he's probably going to be all right. Just a little bit of damage. Not too hard of a hit. Just a glancing blow. Should be good.
And if it just, ladies and gentlemen at home, that's the message that he is hearing, from the little automation center inside the car. Because he doesn't have a meatball flag, so they will be able to get it fixed. And hopefully be able to get back out there and at least get some good laps in.
Yes,
I don't know, though. You see that right front tire? See how bent in that is? I don't know, man.
Yeah,
He'll be able to get it fixed, but it ain't going to be right.
Oof.
Would you break that up, or it's hell to pay for the rest of the night?
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about that. I have a question that I want to ask you two gentlemen once we get back to... Well, we got a little bit of time. So, are you guys racers? So, are you guys the loyalists that are going to go out there and just run the car, as long as it's got a seat and a pulse? Or are you guys more divas like myself, and once the thing is scratched up, I need a new car?
If it's torn up, man, I'm going to go out there and maximize on points. You leave so much on the table when you go home early.
That's true.
Now, if I had an opportunity where I felt like I was guaranteed to win, and we get that thing completely cracked off, I'm going to have to leave, because otherwise I'm going to wreck the field when they come by me. and I find the guy that did it to me.
I gotta say I'm somewhere in the middle. If I think that I'm a danger to others, I won't put the car on the field. But if I think I can hold on to that car and drive it safely and finish the race, I'll try my best. But if I think I'm gonna just wreck out and smash into someone, I just get off the field and just get out of the way.
Yeah, but if someone scratched my car, I'm not a good sport. I mean, so it's going to end badly. I have to remove myself.
Joe, you've always been a danger to others.
That's true. That's what my mama tells me.
We'll say something's going to be interesting to see here is track temps are dropping right now. We've got a huge bank of clouds working itself in front of the sun there. And you can't really see it on our production feed right now, but it is definitely darkening up here in Miami.
Yeah, actually, I am noticing the cloud cover kind of move in here. Didn't notice anything until you said it. There goes the pace car.
Yep, pace car makes a dive down. Gitter in charge of it again. Kind of checks up the field here a little bit on the start. Going to give Clayton Hoffman probably the best launch on the outside we've seen so far today. Freebie throwing a block on DeCiani.
With third place there, he actually did get into the back of Gitter a couple times, and Gitter showed us discontent with that, and that's the reason why you saw that checkup. Clayton Hoffman now trying to get to the inside as he's going to battle Patrick Gitter for the first time for the lead tonight. That 92 is down side by side here, 3 wide behind the leaders. As you have Matt DeCiani with Joey Preby and Derek Heitman. Man, we're just doubled up everywhere. There's no room at the end.
Hoffman tried for the slide job there, but Gitter came down to pinch him, making it impossible for the 19. Oh, the 76 gets turned around off the nose of Preby. Oh, just around right in front of Kenny.
That's Heitman. Oh, that's going to collect a few more.
I think.
Ooh, even more. Machine. That was a 3-stage accident, boys.
That was just unfortunate for the 24 Kenny Powell. I was just going to say those guys had a solid day ahead of them. You gave them props for starting in 28th and making it up to the top 10. And just like that, man, that 24 car just beat it up. It's more like, instead of gas and go, it's more like scratch and dent.
So right here, Preby just gets something.
He tightens up, maybe?
Something wrong there, because that car just shot straight up the track.
He
said
he goes up.
So he's saying that he got pushed, and it looks like there was contact, but I think that was a netcode deal that may have shot the 87 machine up into the 76. I don't think there's any foul for that one necessarily, but there certainly was a lot of harm.
Who was that hit Heitman? Yeah, just an unfortunate blow for him.
Wortman here.
Just behind him.
Hold your breath here, folks. It gets scary.
Let's see. Woo!
Walter, he sees absolutely nothing. Notices a little bit smoke up the top of the track. By this point, he's committed to his lane. Can't really change. It's just tries to brake to avoid it. And
he did slow down quite a bit, but he still had ugly contact there in the front.
Yeah. But based on the driver comms right now, there's no love lost between Preby and DeCiani, so this is going to be interesting to watch, as these two tend to be around each other all night long.
And they're still up in the top 10 together.
Preby thinking that he got shoved up the track by DeCiani there to cause that last incident, but as we saw it on the cameras here in the replays, it was just one of those phantom contacts between the two. But when you're sitting behind the wheel of these things and you just accidentally hooked somebody that you're teammates with on Monday, you kind of see things a little bit different. So it's gonna be rad to see how these two handle each other for the rest of the race.
Let's see. That's we got ourselves a side story here, as I think the lights are finally off on the pace car, and we're going to be 1 to green.
But look who's down there on the bottom in control of this thing right now.
Clayton Hoffman. It's looking pretty. He found his way past right before the yellow.
Yeah, definitely going to see if
absolute hero.
Going to definitely see if Clayton gets a better start off than Patrick Gitter did. That's one thing that I've been waiting to see.
Yeah, that'd be nice. That'd be a good comparison. Gitter's had a couple good launches, and we're sitting at what now? Three flags. So Gitter's had a couple of good launches, but we'll see here. And we only have 12 laps to go. Remember, 12, 13 laps to go until the end of stage 2.
Oh, every one of Gitter's launches have been spot on here so far tonight. I mean, yeah.
Remember, all them launches have been from the point, though, from the lead.
That's true. Let's see.
Race car dives in. Hoffman leading the field in the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air. Hoffman with a tremendous launch. Going to pull car lengths ahead of the 21 machine in the 4 as DeCiani goes down to the inside of Gitter, trying to bring a fight to him here into turn number 1.
First things first, also, we see Joey Preby sending it to the outside, putting it 3 wide. He's fallen back a little bit, though. Not quite able to capitalize off that. Here he comes now, looking for the 83 of Tim Wortman. Yeah, big exit there. Good spot on the inside.
Not much going to be able to get much done on the inside, though, unless the 83 makes a huge mistake. At 83, not able to carry the momentum through the outside line. They're going to be neck and neck here into turn number 1. Now, as Preby lick the stamp and send it into turn number 1, try for the slide job. Not able to. The 83 going to stay tight on that quarter panel. Oh, keep it down, Preby. He's got him.
He did. He held it. He held it. He held it, and he got it by just a few inches there as Brandon Pasalacqua behind him looks like he's going to look for a spot around Tim Wortman Jr. too.
Riding on board with Wortman right now, looking at the driver cam. Oh, heart rate steady, 103.
Cool, calm, and collected right there. That's what he's doing.
That's what he's got to be right up ahead of him. Things are getting a little bit hairy. We had some wall contact briefly there from Paul Hill. Very briefly, a little bit of wall contact. That could have turned into something much bigger. Excuse me. Paul Hill now falling back a little bit.
Preby was actually trying to set himself up to dive to the inside as Paul Hill made more, than less. I was going to say incidental, but it was not incidental contact with the one of DeCiani. That caused him just a little bit. But look at how high Preby is actually running versus everybody else. He is definitely taking a page out of Clayton's playbook there and trying to duplicate that by running up high.
Yeah, you watch one guy do it and you try it. And you'll try for the rest of the race and to varied degrees of results. Pryby's going to give it every shot he's got because he knows how well that outside line worked for Hoffman. I mean, look at it. It took him all the way from 33rd to 2nd on the first stage, and now he's in the lead of this thing.
And not using that line.
Now, do you think this is a thing that's setup dependent? Do you think that in this case, the DeCiani setup is the thing that's really pushing Hoffman to be able to use that high line?
I'll tell you
one thing. It's that outside line like that. It's everything dependent. Driver, setup, track conditions, you name it. Anything can take that away from you.
The longer Preby rides up on that high line, we'll definitely be able to tell if it's detrimental or not to his handlings. We just did watch him crush the wall at least once, so he's still riding the high line now, and we'll just sit there riding and watching to see how it affects the handling of his car in both the short term as well as the long.
Well, the sun's come back out here in Miami.
It's starting to get.
Hoffman in control of this 4-car breakaway, though, slowly starting to pull himself away from the 21 machine. Gitter, as you see, Gitter try to swing up to the outside line and try and find that momentum. Going back to the rear bumper of the 92 machine. And DeCiani trying to charge against him on the bottom.
It's not going to be enough, though, for DeCiani. Unfortunately, Gitter's got just enough momentum coming out of those turns that he can't quite keep up. And we've seen the guys who run high on the outside during the turns. They have some crazy good momentum coming down out of that turn. But also, remember that middle key to the race. Watch that loose off condition. We've seen it bite at least one or two people tonight so far. And it could happen again as DeCiani is making a signal on the inside that he wants to challenge Clayton Hoffman for the lead.
Yeah, but first he's got to get by Patrick Gitter, and that's exactly where he's at, because Paul Hill's not giving these guys any room, guys. He is right there in the middle, letting them know that, hey, look, I want to get up front too. I'm going to pull too, and he is definitely showing that as he is directly glued to the bumper of DeCiani. Now he's going to go high and try to make sure. Remember, he is trying to get onto the podium, and right now he is battling the 21 for what would be third place.
Yeah, Hill with a good run tonight. One of many we've seen out of that 26 machine this year. He's been good just about everywhere we've gone. Competitive.
Doing a little bit of a checkup on the race behind. Looks like Nick King right now is looking to try to weasel his way up into 11th place. He's trying to take that spot from Mark Sanchez. Ryan Strunk's just a little bit ahead of him. If he can get a little bit closer, he can probably push Strunk maybe out of that spot. And Strunk is up 25 places. We've talked about him tonight also a little bit. Really an impressive drive out of that driver specifically. A little bit further back, things are really spread out throughout the rest of the field. But if we go back to about 23rd position, Benkin Zelenka is leading his own little mini pack of Hornets right now with Jerry Walters and Jeremy Clapper Newell right now on the inside. So Zelenka up 4 positions from where he started, a decent spot to be. Right now, Jerry Walters on the inside trying to take that spot from him, but if he can stay on the outside and keep that momentum, then Zelenka's going to be in a good spot to maybe move up another few positions before the end of this race. As we get ready, now lap 59 out of 60. It's only 2 laps to go to the end of the stage.
Game up here at the front. Hoffman with a good advantage over the 4 machine of DeCiani. Couple car lengths separating your top 3. You see Preview making a huge dive down to the bottom, trying to take a swipe at the 21 machine of Gitter. Gitter running all the way up against that fence. Gonna be a dead heat down the back straightaway, but I think Gitter's going to get him. Yes, he does.
Going down to 3 and 4. Things have smoothed out a little bit at the front, and I think we're going to have a 1, 2, 3 here. There it is. Clayton Hoffman, the stage 2 win. Not bad, not bad, not bad for the man from 33rd.
Yeah, wow, stage 2 in the books just like that. Clayton Hoffman, your stage 2 leader. Matt DeCiani comes in second. Patrick Gitter, 3rd. Joey Preby, 4th. Paul Hill, 5th. 6th place is Brandon Pasalacqua. 7th place, Vincent Crowe. Josh Schaffner, 8th. Tim Woodman Jr., 9th. And Ryan Strunk rounds out the top 10 with stage 2 in the books. We're going to step away, get a brief word from our sponsors. We'll be back with Clayton Hoffman.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, a girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Enough time.
Let's say
And we are back. Stage 2 in the books. Sorry, I didn't have enough time to actually talk to Clayton as there is 1 to green. But guys, stage 2 went a lot faster than stage 1 there. Now we got the longest stage of the night. Possibility some green flag pit stops. What do you guys think?
Definitely going to have a possibility for green flag stops as much as these guys are going to shoot through these Goodyear Eagles on this run. Also, I don't know if you really caught a glimpse of it there, but Kenny Powell fighting to stay alive just barely beat the pace car out of pit road there to stay on the lead lap.
Well, that's good. We got a lot of cars on the lead lap right now, too, which is nice to see. About 32 cars on the lead lap total.
Yeah, Kenny Powell wanting to get that damage fixed as that 24 gas and go machine did take a pretty hard lick there with I believe it was the second caution that we've had of the night so far.
Yeah, we've had, I think we've had, oh, sorry, go on.
No, I'm saying hopefully these guys keep it clean to finish this thing off.
Oof, that'd be nice. But remember, we've got another about 100 laps to go. This is going to be the longest stretch of driving that we've had so far. We've got, they're only going to make it about 65 laps before they've got to stop. So let's see what happens.
Pace car drives through the barrels. Green flag in hand. Clayton Hoffman with a great launch, clearing the rest of the field here into turn number 1. Huge advantage to the 92 machine as DeCiani is about to go toe-to-toe with Preeby, a guy that he's had issues with earlier in this race. A little helpful bump from the 21 machine. Gitter's going to move the 4 machine out of the way. And here comes Preeby trying to clear. Is he going to get it? No. DeCiani going to dive right back down to the bottom. Try to get to the quarter panel into 3. But Preeby's going to have that outside line and the momentum. But DeCiani fighting strong on the bottom lane. Side-by-side dead heat. This is exactly what Clayton Hoffman wants to see. Just get out there, stretch those muscles a little bit, and let these guys fight behind you. Save them tires.
That's exactly right. And Preeby giving the squeeze to DeCiani. No love lost between these two, as we mentioned earlier. And there's not really a need to at this point. They are racing for second. Joey Preeby holding on to that spot. DeCiani unable to seal the deal and just stay ahead of him, unfortunately. So it looks like Preeby right now is going to hold on to second, but DeCiani is going to be very, very close on his heels, looking for a little bit more if he can get it.
Wow, I was just going to say, wow, what a difference a stage makes. Stage 1, these guys really came out there. They kind of beat it really hard now. You see early on in stage 3, they're really kind of starting to give each other space, all except for the one of DeCiani and the 2 of Joey Preeby. These two still battling pretty hard, but for the most part back in the field except for way back, everybody's just really kind of running their lines right now.
Wants to do everything he can to make life difficult for DeCiani, especially after the argument that they had a little bit ago. They both feel like they've been wrong, so they're driving as hard as they can against each other. But Gitter going to give a huge shot to the back of his teammate. DeCiani's going to push him way ahead of Preeby, and here comes Gitter. Going to clear Preeby himself. Now Hill's going to try and get down to the bottom and try and see if he can't make something materialize against the 87 machine.
And let's take a look a little ways back. We've got some 2 wide situations. Alex Carr right now on the outside of the 45. Bacon Zelenka, the 2 of them racing right now for 14th, 15th position. They're ahead of another 2 wide situation. The other car, Greg Carr with Derek Heitman, who had an unfortunate accident earlier in the race. Heitman now sitting at 18th, pulling just a little bit ahead of Carr. And even more 2 wides behind him. Jerry Walters sitting on the inside there of Connor Banks. Jeremy Clapper-Newell, David Gervais, couple cars back there, still trying to keep things competitive.
Competitive, indeed, that's what they're doing. And I mean, not competitive, but competitive. And Derek Heitman trying to duplicate what Clayton Hoffman did just seems like he's doing it running a different line. But you understand that's got to be frustrating for him because that team had a rocket and they've been up front for the majority of the evening, man. And I think he would have had a close shot at the podium. Not counting him out yet, but he's still got a long way to fight to get back up front.
Speaking of up front, we have almost a second gap right now between Clayton Hoffman and Matt DeCiani. That fight going on behind them between DeCiani, Gitter, Hill, all those guys involved, that really took a toll on the momentum of that leader pack. And now they're going to have to not necessarily work together, but they're going to have to put things aside a little bit if they're going to try to catch up to Clayton Hoffman and try to challenge for the lead.
The one thing I'll say about this, I've been watching Clayton Hoffman for a while, as seldom as you have too, Joe. But the one person that's usually pretty consistent with beating Clayton Hoffman is Clayton Hoffman. So as long as he can stay out of his own way tonight, he might have a clean shot at actually putting this thing in the winner's circle. But remember, he's still got a lot of laps to run, and he's got to get out of his own way in order to win it.
Tell you what, up till now, with the runs we've had, he's definitely got the best car. This is absolutely his race to lose, but his race to win as well.
Good way to put it. Yeah, it's his car though. Whatever he's feeding that. I asked Gitter earlier, what are you feeding it? Should have asked Hoffman because whatever. Yeah, he's got this. It's really incredible drive right now.
For Hoffman, it's on the hood.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's running NOS.
Totally legal. And back a little ways, we're looking at that's John Binder.
Speaking of totally legal, the 48 of Jose Medina is going to be running down the backstretch. He is going to be the lap traffic that we're going to run into. And the way this is going, it appears that the leaders will catch him before we start to run into green flag pit stops. This place isn't easy to pass, so we'll see how this works out because a lot of guys are going to have to get by that 48 machine.
You know, Joe, you mentioned it earlier in the pre-race. Got a little bit of a lull in the action right now. What do you think? Crank it up?
Crank it up. I like the sound of that, folks. We're going to let the sound of the engine do the talking for a little while, and you enjoy the sights and sounds of Homestead, Miami. Welcome back to the ISCA Live. We hope that you stuck around for that Crank It Up section and enjoyed some of the sights and sounds of Homestead, Miami as the ISCA boys took it around on the Super Cup Series Hooters 250, which is tonight's race. I am Joel Castro, joined by Big Al and Sheldon Atkins and Kobe down in the truck, and we're going to bring you some more of this Stage 3 here as we lead up to what is going to be probably about a 40-lap run right now until we get to some green flag pit stops. So let's see how things play out. Let's see who's currently in the lead. I think everybody remembers, Clayton Hoffman is currently sitting in the lead. If you're new to the race, he's been moving his way up through and made up, within 35 laps, he made it up 32 places, 31 places, and now he's sitting in the lead next to Matt DiCiani and Patrick Gitter in the 1-2-3.
And I've been watching the 83 of 10 Warpman Juniors. We actually do have him kind of on play, I guess, if you will, as he's actually just past the 50 of Josh Schofter, gaining another position as he continues his quest. But other than that, guys, looks pretty straightforward down there.
Hoffman on these short stints be the fastest car in the field. Hands down every time. We haven't had a chance to see what he's capable of here on a long run, and I'm looking at the time charts, and I'm seeing DiCiani and Gitter just slowly working themselves back up to the back bumper of the 92 machine as we start to get into the later stages of this tire run.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is going to matter. A lot of this is going to come down to pit stops, and I wonder if there's going to be a big brain moment where Hoffman or somebody here at the lead says, I need to be the first one in so that my strategy is just a little bit ahead of these guys. But if you go now, we got to remember they're going to have at least they're guaranteed one green flag pit stop. So do you drive it as hard as you can? I think so. I think Hoffman has to stay out as long as he possibly can in the lead, which means that he's got the pressure on him right now to avoid burning those tires up. But then he's going to end up getting closer and closer to some real trouble behind him the more that he saves.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen is these guys are going to be looking, because we're just halfway. So I think you got another 20 laps or so. It's going to be 35 laps to go, 35 to 40 laps to go before these guys are actually looking at pitting, because I think that's a good chunk that they understand how the setup feels and how hard you can run the car, because that's exactly what they did in the first stage. So that's what I'm thinking, somewhere between 35 to 30 laps to go for the green flag pit stops, and I think everybody is they're probably going to try to come down at the same time.
That sounds about right. Looking a little bit further back in the field, and after that restart, everything has very much spread out. There is very little aggression right now going on throughout the field, all the way back to to Kenny Powell there sitting in 31st. It's unfortunate that he got caught up in a little bit of a wreck there, but he did make it out and stayed on the lead lap, as Sheldon pointed out. After that last one of those last restarts there, he was able to make it out and beat the pace car there around the track. So good for you, Kenny Powell. Good to see you still there on the lead lap. And as for the rest of the field, like we've said, we're just kind of waiting for things to sort of scrunch up a little bit to see when some of these pit stops really start to mix things up a little bit. And one notable thing is Ryan Strunk is riding the high line very much, whereas a lot of cars are kind of going down. I was noticing him going a little bit higher than everybody else. Looks like I made a liar by that because he's going back down low again. But that highlight's paid off for a few people.
Yeah, I've got to give a shout-out, man, to the 77 machine of Brian Strunk. That Lugnut Sim Racing machine started 35th, no time on the chart. I mentioned him earlier, but he's up here in the 7th position, well nestled into the top 10. Really good run out of him this evening. But not going to be an easy one to hold off, though, because right behind him you got the 6th machine of Pasalaco. A quiet evening for last week's winner, and one of the handful of dominant cars we've seen out here this season. Not quite the night that I think he was expecting. Used to being up there in that top 3, top 5 picture, just sitting, on the tail end of the top 10. But, when it comes to taking a gamble on a pit strategy, it's going to be that 6 machine that's going to be able to find that extra juice on pit road later on.
Hey, guys, I want to give a shout-out here to the 47 of Vincent Crow. Vincent, really a new driver to the ISCA, as far as I'm concerned, but Man, he is having a banner night tonight, starting this thing off in 24th, and now he is running in 6th place, just one spot out of the top 5. And, man, he is throwing his hat there in the ring with some pretty big bulls. So go Vincent Crow, or go Vincent Go, I should say.
Hey.
Old clean hair Vinny. Running strong tonight. One of these days, he's going to probably snap and tell me to take that nickname and put it somewhere else. But for now, I'm going to ride it until it. I'll ride it till the horse dies.
Very good.
But he's under fire right now from the 77 of Strunk. But here goes Pasalacqua looking down the inside of Strunk. Down to the quarter pound at turn number 1. Here comes that 6 machine. But Strunk fighting back. That outside line momentum is impressive to watch out of that 77 machine tonight.
Oh, there he goes.
And big block.
Move.
And he's going to go down to the inside of Vincent. And I think he's going to be able to slide him here. Yes, he will. Ryan Strunk up to the 6th position.
Not bad. And we see Pasalacqua down the insides of Heitman and Crow. I feel like Pasalacqua is he's got something in the tank that he's waiting to drop. He just hasn't dropped it yet tonight. He's been sitting comfortably around where he was when the race started. He started in 6th. Right now he's in 7th. I think that as the night goes on, Pasalacqua is going to make his move.
Yeah, absolutely.
As a Crow caught the wall there in 1 and 2 and really killed the momentum. He's losing a ton of spots here down the back straightaway into 3. Going to be able to fight it off in 3 and 4, though.
Almost, he's fighting off a 3. He's fighting off a 3-wide situation as well. Like you said, he lost a lot of momentum. Now he's got Josh Shopton onto his inside. But back to Brandon Pasalacqua as he's inside the 77 trying to make better of a spot. Now he does. I think in Brandon's case, it is just a little bit too early to be that aggressive.
Oh, huge block and contact from the 77 machine, pushing the 6 into turn number 3. Pasalacqua gets really unsteady. The spot goes back to Ryan Strunk for now, but will we see more aggression as these two continue to fight? And here comes Heitman working into the picture.
Heitman almost trying to put it through. Good contact with Strunk. Good shove from Heitman. Strunk goes high. Is he going to hit the wall? No. Keeps it off the wall by just an inch. Keeps things a little bit ahead of Heitman to prevent the 3-wide situation as Pasalacqua falls back to go side by side with Heitman. It is going to be Strunk still out in front.
Oh. He was getting turned around and basically hit everything but the Florida State Lottery in the process. But
Heitman.
Here he comes to the inside of Strunk. Heitman, huge run down the front straightaway, and he's going to clear him into turn number 1.
Wow.
But here goes Strunk fighting back.
Brandon's going to be down on the inside trying to get some of the same luck that Heitman did, but not going to be enough. But you best believe he is going to be trying to get set up as he now goes high to the inside. And you see Ron Strunk comes down low with Derek Heitman pinching him ever so low. These two not almost contact. Clear the race.
Those two wrecked. They just didn't know it.
Yeah, right. Let's hope he doesn't catch up to them, at least while we're on the stream here. Lap 96 of 167. We're approaching the triple-digit mark here, folks. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you again to our sponsors for sponsoring tonight's race. And if you're appreciating what you're watching, go ahead and throw us a little comment in the chat. Love to interact with you tonight.
Tell you what, Strunk is doing everything he can to make Pasalacqua's life miserable.
You know, like I said, I just don't believe Brandon was ready to race this hard this early. But you know, you got to do what you got to do to kind of keep that position, and he got rubbed a little wrong. So yeah, I think Strunk wanted to make it a race. I think he's got a race.
I think you're right.
Pasalacqua to the quarter panel, trying to pull the side draft on the 77 machine into turn number 3. Strunk going to keep him pitched all the way down to the apron, almost to the line.
But just like that, he didn't even realize he was getting surrounded. As now all the paradigm guys have shifted, and they are all descending upon the 77 of Ryan Strunk. And no matter how this plays, I don't think it's going to end up in his favor.
Right on board with Schaffner as he looks at the battle in front of him. At some point, the fenders are going to connect between these two.
I think you're right. I think you're onto something there. As a 54 of Mullins rides the inside line there, the middle line. Pasalacqua now on the outside, on the inside of Strunk, trying to make a pass. Just not giving it enough mustard.
I'm going to go ranch guy myself.
Ranch on the hot dog.
No, maybe not on the hot dog. Chili on the hot dog.
Kevin Zosiak electing to get out of the way, taking the long way around pit road.
Oh, yeah, I see
got a little bit too sporty for him there.
Yeah, he really bowed out, didn't he?
But the leader now, they're all over the 48 of Jose Medina, just like we said. So that we'll see how long it slows down Clayton Hoffman, or if it even allows Patrick Gitter to get by.
Nope. Pasalacqua almost got past the 77 machine of Strunk there. Didn't work in his favor. Now Pasalacqua charging up to the outside line. And he's got Schaffner, his teammate, down to the inside.
Yeah, it's like Schaffner said, hey, bro, you stand up and let me see if I can get by him. Now Josh's going to see if he can get by the 77 on the inside. Brandon just not being able to get the run that he's been looking for thus far. And it seems like these guys caught the 77 around the Strunk pretty quick, but now they just can't get rid of them.
Yeah, but right now, these guys are in the catbird seat. One small mistake from that 77 machine, and about 4 or 5 cars going to go past him here. He's fighting with everything he's got.
Not the position you want to be in, though, still. Even though he's up in 8th right now, up 27.
Oh, there we go. Schaffner gets clear.
Yeah, and he also gets a little tap from the 77. So, you know, that's just not going to go over well as the 77 now battles back around the outside.
Understatement of the year, Big Al, right there. It's not going to go over well at all.
Yeah, but now he's in that dirty air, and all those tires are absolutely shot. He's just going to fall like a stone here if he's not too careful as he goes back to the outside line, still trying to hold up the 6 machine to Pasalacqua.
Yeah, Brandon got a good, solid run right there and kind of gave the 77 a little tap, just a little show of displeasure. But if he thought that was bad, now Randy Mullins is on his way in. 77 round Strunk's going to go high. Guys, this has become the battle that we've been watching, and it just kind of made itself to be great. But these guys too are going to slowly come up upon the 48, and then it's going to be even better.
That's right. I always love it when they throw a little bit of a stone into the pond, so to speak. And that 48 is going to be that stone. It's going to be the ripple that goes through. And when that ripple goes through, we're going to get to see how these guys all react to it.
77 coming out of turn number 2. Dives down to the bottom, and here comes the 77 fighting back hard on the top, but not going to be able to get anything done with it. Mullins is going to take the position now.
Mullins has got it. Still high on the outside. Almost 3 wide now. If Pasalacqua can give it a little more gas. Not quite. 77 falls back to put it 2 wide with Pasalacqua. As Randy Mullins holds on to that 8th place spot.
I think Pasalacqua is going to make short work of him now here. Yep, there he goes. He's going to get the position.
Not bad.
Also, we were looking at the delta closing between Gitter and Hoffman earlier, but Hoffman turning on the afterburners here, pulling away to the biggest lead we've seen so far from this field.
Yeah, something happened up there in the front, and he figured out, oh yeah, I can push it a little further.
Yeah, 62 laps to go. I think right now they're just he's looking at it like, get a little bit of a run as much as you can. That reduces the pressure that you're going to have once you're trying to actually get down pit road. Remember, nose to the race, it's going to be a big deal getting down speed and getting into the pit road. Usually you would have the long access road, which drivers hated because it was like the drive around the world or the drive around the block. But this time it's a really short access, so you got to get down, you got to get slow enough to actually get down your pit road as fast as you can. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
I'm just looking forward to getting down.
Yeah, getting down. And then I was swore you were going to say, and get funky. I thought that was going to be the next thing that you said. Disappointed.
Nah.
Well, that's okay. The only person who's getting down and getting funky right now is Clayton Hoffman, and he is getting down all over the front of this track. He is absolutely he is a solid 2 seconds ahead right now of Patrick Gitter. Gitter himself about a second and a half ahead of Joey Preby in third. So the first, second, and third positions have definitely spread out over the course of this green flag racing here. So if we're going to see any action, it is going to be from that crew in the back a little bit there. Strunk still leading Tim Wharton Jr. If I look back a little further, it looks like there is also a little bit of action. Jay Hone passing Jeremy Clapper Newell on the outside. We see these guys making little passes here and there as they get caught up to each other, but the race is definitely now a race of endurance as we make it as far as we can into the 100s. Crossing into lap 110 right now, we're looking at 167 to end tonight's race, but remember, these guys are going to be pitting at around 120. Around 120, 125.
And nobody wants to see the Costa come out right now. And I've been watching the lap times. I mean, Clayton Hoffman's lap time is a solid second off pace. Everybody else is about 1.3 off of the pace, and they've all got around 48. It's going to be 50 laps coming up on their tires thus far. So with 57 laps to go in the race, approximately, it's almost decision time, guys. But I'm surprised the Goodyears are holding up. I mean, they're 1.3 seconds off. That's not too bad for plus 50 laps.
That's true. Just not too bad. Who's down the pit right now?
Ryan Strunk. The leader's pit road. The leader's on pit road. No, sorry. No, that's wrong. I looked at the wrong line.
That's all right. Ryan Strunk is on pit road, though.
And I'm not surprised to see that. Ryan was he put himself in a position where he was battling three teammates. And like I said, it's not going to end well for him because no matter how he looked at that, he lost. And having to pit this early, he'll go out and he'll have some time, but he's going to be off pit cycle. And so that also is going to make it interesting for the rest of his evening.
But also on the flip side, if these guys have an incident directly after they come out pit road, Ryan Strunk's looking like the smartest man in town.
That's true.
But he would play hard to actually be able to make it to the end of the race with 55 laps on it. He'd still have to stop again, in my opinion. Be competitive.
Yeah, but coming in for four freshies, if you get an early wreck during the pit cycle, maybe one or two guys make it in, get trapped a lap down. It all works somehow, some way.
It'll work out. In the end, we'll see. We'll get one of their guys across the line.
Now, if I just predicted the future here, I'm sorry, everybody else.
Yeah, it's okay.
But that has to speak. That has to speak, though, to the handling of his car that he came in that early, though.
Yeah, he was definitely struggling there to keep those Paradigm cars at bay.
Looking through the field again, trying to search for these switching situations happening. Randy Belk makes the pass right now on Drumhiller. That's back in 21st position. Got a few other names back there. It looks like Strunk is back on the field. He's in 31st, holding things up. Kenny Powell is right in front of him. A couple more people down pit road. Greg Wachinski and Nick King, both down pit road right now. taking that early pit strategy if they can.
Yeah, I think, you hold on as long as you can, right? And then when you can't, you pit. So
Yep, you hold on until you pit.
54 also down pit road. So yeah, we've been in that window, but now we're officially in that window.
This is going to be it. We'll see who's been saving gas. We'll see who's been saving tires.
Looks like everybody's coming down pit road right now.
All right, it's begun. This is it, folks. The green flag pit stop cycle has officially opened up wide. Just watch for Clayton Hoffman. That's going to be the big one.
Just shot a lap 122.
That's right, just shy of 120, which means these guys have definitely been driving hard. If we expect to get about 65 laps or 60 laps out of these, then we're just almost exactly there.
I'll tell you what a great race Hoffman's put together up here from the lead, though. Up to a 3.5 second advantage over second place Patrick Getter.
Yeah, huge. It's going to be massive for the pit. It's going to be massive for the rest of this race. And after we're done pitting here around the 120s, we're still going to have 40 laps to go.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, right now I'm showing 50 laps to go. Maybe I'm off on my timer.
No, you are correct. It'd be about 50 laps to go.
And so right now, most drivers are 55 laps on the stint. So that's still going to leave a long race, guys. Plus, once you get down to the end, it's going to be for all the marbles.
Getter's on pit road now.
Okay.
Trying for the undercut on Hoffman. But Hoffman has such an advantage right now that he can stay out a handful of laps. Really push these tires to the limit, push his fuel cell to the limit, put himself in a great position to be on fresher stuff than the rest of these guys. It's one of the perks of having a dominant car.
And behind him on the track. Ooh, off the wall a little bit.
Oh, Hill.
Paul Hill.
No. Oh, and a good run undone. Paul Hill spins into pit road. It's definitely going to be a speeding penalty.
We talked specifically about just that one thing right there. Drivers have to be cognizant about getting down on the pit road. This is not an easy feat. I don't think this track was designed for that pit road entrance like that, so that makes it even more tricky. But hey, what do I know? These guys were the professionals, right?
Not at all. This place was designed about 4 or 5 different ways before they finally figured out how they wanted it to be.
No way. Paul Hill's driving off pit road right now. Amazing.
Lucky.
Yeah, Greg Carr got one. We just found out. Thank you, truck. The Greg Carr got one, but Paul Hill, super lucky.
Oh, and there's your leader right there, Hoffman. Comes in a few laps later than everybody else coming out. Going to lose a little bit of time on the uptake here, but those slightly fresher Goodyear Eagles are probably pulling them even further away at the end of this stage.
Let's see it. Everybody out in front still has yet to pit, and they're the only ones.
It's over 120 laps into this thing.
Brandon Passalacqua right now. These guys just turned 60 laps on their equipment so far. So they're showing us exactly what can be done, and none of them are takers so far. So that's definitely going to give them a slight advantage as we get down towards the end of this thing.
Oh, caution. Oh, man, I caught it. The yellow's out.
Great car.
That's unfortunate.
As soon as that's over, that works really well for Brandon Passalacqua, who did not want to have to pit. Now, this sets up Clayton Hoffman for a drive for his life, as he has to pass through 7 cars ahead of him, trying to retake his lead. We'll get a replay of this. Oh, no. He just got loose.
Dude,
I think he was trying to pit.
He's trying to pit.
No. He just couldn't get it slowed down enough.
I thought Greg Carr was coming off of a black flag in the pits. I think this is his first lap after pitting.
I think he got a penalty for pit exit, not pit entry. He was going to try and come down and serve it because there was no counter steer there. It looked like he was trying to bring it down.
Gotcha. I thought that he just was straight up trying to avoid
Did you
putting
see
it
him?
into the barrels there.
You see it? Yeah, you see how hard he turned it left there to try and get down pit road, and he just lost it in the process. Way too out of an entry.
Hey, can we ride
Couldn't
with
do it.
him one time so we can see if he's downshifting?
Yeah, let's see what happened.
Because if he starts downshifting coming around that curve, then you'll know for sure that he's upshifted to 5th.
I'm telling you, I don't think he's trying to pit.
Nope, just lost it right
That's
there.
a really big slide.
Yep,
Yeah,
just
he wasn't
lost
trying
that
to pit,
tail
boys.
end.
He was he just sent it and lost it. Unfortunate.
I think he sent it a little too hard that time, guys.
Yep, went like this. We're gonna send it to commercial here, folks. Since we have the yellow flag now, we're gonna take our last commercial break of the race, and when we come back, ISCA Live's Hooters 250 is gonna take you to the finish line. Stay tuned.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, a girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
We are back here with ISCA Live's Hooters 250. Remember to hit that like, subscribe, and bell, folks. If you're enjoying tonight's racing, we bring you some of the best in iRacing simulation coverage every week. So if you're enjoying this even just a little bit, go ahead and give us some love. It really goes a long way. Coming back around now, the pace car's lights are off. He's going to come down now. We're going to get things started here. Clayton Hoffman's at the front of the line right now. He's in the front. Let's look for the launch. And there they go. We're green yet again with a great launch from Clayton Hoffman. Huge out to the front. Patrick Gitter sliding in right behind him with Joey Preby in third.
And that great launch does not echo through the entire field, unfortunately, but I will definitely say overall it was a good launch for the entire field. Clayton Hoffman wants to know time to restore his lead, getting back out just where he's comfortable in the clean air. That's one thing we didn't find out. We haven't talked to the drivers to find out if the clean air is definitely making a big difference. But one thing I can tell you, Joe, it's a very, very wide array of passing lanes and driving lanes on this track tonight.
We've seen that, Big Al. We've seen that for sure. There have been passes being done on the inside, and then with some crazy momentum gained on that outside line.
Got 3 back here.
3 black flags. Kenny Powell, Mark Sanchez, and who was the third there? And John Binder. Unfortunate. 3 black flags. All from that. Going to have to go back and drive back through it, sounds like. Ooh, and he missed it.
Yeah, and that's definitely, if he was trying to keep it on the lead lap, that is definitely going to solidify that he is going to lose the lap for that, because the one thing, losing that much momentum at this racetrack, not going to do you any favors going all the way back around, because it is a true mile and a half. But here we go now. Still, these guys are trying to sort it out further back in the pack. Oh,
Back
that
by
got
the
the
front, Derek
47
Heitman.
just got a little loose.
That's Vincent Crow. Back up in the front, though, we're seeing Derek Heitman has made his way back up into the front after an unfortunate crash earlier. where he got tied up in some bad business. He's made his way back up there to almost where he started tonight's race in third place. Clayton Hoffman still in the lead, getting really run down right now by Patrick Gitter, though. Gitter is not letting him get away with any bad business here, as right in front of them, they've got some of the cars that are, I think, still coming out of pit lane, where they're not going to have to get past much earlier than usual.
Here comes Gitter with a deep dive down to the bottom of Hoffman at a 1 and 2. Gonna get close, just about touching doors out of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, though Hoffman's going to use the momentum of that high line to try and pull him away, but Gitter is still right there in his door.
Guys, I'm sitting here looking at the board, and I'm looking at the names like Brandon Pasalacqua. I'm looking at Vincent Crowe. I'm looking at Bacon Zelenka. These are the names: Jay Honey, Jeremy Clapper Newell. You'll ask me why I'm looking at these guys, because these guys are in probably the best situation of anybody with the fewest amount of laps on their cars. They're going to be about 3 laps better than Clayton Hoffman, and probably about 5 laps better than Patrick Gitter. So that's all I got.
That's something, though. That is something, especially when we get down to those last moments where the age of the tire really rolls over. We could be seeing some changes happening rather rapidly, or the fall off potentially starting earlier for some of those guys who are running on even a few laps with their tires. Ooh, very close between Mark Sanchez right there and Joey Priebe. There's almost some contact. I think there was a little bit of door rubbing, but it looks like none's worse for the wear as Priebe gets back out in control and back out in front of Mark Sanchez.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez, I do believe, even a lap down, so not sure what all of the rubbing and hooting is about, but I'm glad they sorted it out.
Hooting and hollering. And there he goes down to the inside. Joey Priebe back up at front. Clayton Hoffman's made some distance now from Patrick Gitter. Gitter holding off Paul Hill, who's right behind him. Hill's been driving very well tonight. Let's give it up for Paul Hill. He's up 16 places from where he started. He has been a survivor. He has been a hard driver, a hard charger. He's found luck all over the track, it sounds like, it looks like. And right now he is trying his luck hot on the heels of Patrick Gitter, seeing if he can make the pass. Right now we're at 134 out of 167, so we're sitting at just about 33 laps to go, folks. Stick around to the end of tonight's race. You're really going to enjoy it.
Yeah, and I'm guaranteeing that one person is not liking the fact at all that Paul Hill is being as aggressive as he is, and that it's got to be Patrick Gitter, because I know one thing: Gitter and Hoffman like to save and conserve, and it's hard to do that when you've got a guy that's behind you that is pushing and poking at you. That's going to make you drive a little harder, which is going to make Clayton drive a little harder, which is going to make those last 10 laps a lot more harder.
All up to the hill, up to the rear bumper of Gitter out of turn number 2. They're going to dive down to the bottom, try and use some of that momentum to get to the inside. It'll be a dead heat in turn number 3, and it looks like Hill's going to go for the slide job, and he's got him here. Move Hill up to second place.
And Derek Heightman's going to try to follow suit now. Here's the deal: what's Gitter going to do? If these guys pass Gitter, doesn't mean that they're faster than Gitter. Patrick Gitter is a master saver. I mean, he is one guy that doesn't get rattled, and he pulls other people off of their game plan, but he does very rarely allow someone else to pull him off of his. So we'll see how this one plays out. I guess that's why they make us run every lap.
I think it's an excellent observation. Big Al Gitter is pretty unflappable when it comes to some of those situations, and right now he's in a situation where he cannot be flapped. He needs to hold off the Derek Heitman situation behind him. He needs to hold off the other cars that would start to squeeze up on him as he started to battle Heitman. And I don't know, in terms of a big block from Gitter, I don't think that we would necessarily see it, even though it would cost him the podium position to give it to Heitman. I think it's going to be up to Heitman, though, to take it from him. He's not going to hand it to him. If he has to leave the door open, it'll only be because Heitman is making a move that cannot be avoided. But Gitter has got the speed, even with unless you can get that momentum on the turn and really dive down to the inside like we just saw Paul Hill do. Gitter's got the speed.
Absolutely. Gitter, speaking of speed, Paul Hill just had the fastest lap he had the fastest lap time of that lap. Clayton Hoffman actually has the best lap time of the evening, and it's a wee bit faster than the second place time. So, I mean, there's a lot of racing left to go. I'm just wondering if these guys are going to be able to make it all the way to the end without actually pulling their claws out. I'm watching the 77 of Ryan Strunk, and he and Brandon Pasalacqua have somehow found each other again, and they started almost that same cat and mouse game that they did, in the last sequence, a little bit later in this sequence. They're just doing it from 8th and 9th place this time instead of 5th and 6th place, I believe.
Yep. A little bit further back. I'm diving around through the rest of the track a little bit to see what's going on here. Our man Ryan Strunk up 26 positions, still sitting in 9th, still riding the outside line a little bit. Behind him is Vincent Crowe, who's using the whole track here, trying to see if he can get the momentum to get ahead of Strunk right now. Strunk, the two of them sitting just ahead of Bacon Zelenka, who is right behind Vincent Crowe right now. So the three of them, a nice little line of 3 cars. Still a little bit of action there in the middle of the pack, trying to see where some of the other challenges might be coming from, where some of the other movement might be happening. The lapped car situation has started to iron itself out a little bit. So it looks like we've got green flag racing right now, folks, for Clayton Hoffman and the crew up in front, at least for the time being.
There's no way he's full charge right now. I think he knows being on a little bit more tires than some of these guys in the field. A little bit further back, I think he's just being really aggressive on his tire saving right now.
Who's that, boss?
Who are you talking about?
Hoffman,
okay.
Still turned the fastest lap of all on the track last lap.
Even with that, yeah, he's got something going. Yeah, something is in that car besides Clayton Hoffman himself that has got an absolute blessing on it right now. The machine spirits are saying you are the one.
Yeah,
and,
Mark Sanchez
even with tire saving strategy.
Mark Sanchez got tapped to not be the one. Not sure what went on, but he's a lap down, so he just allowed that trio to go by him, which is going to be the 6, the 77, and the 47.
Paul Hill makes the pass on the lap car. John Binder. Binder not putting on as dominant of a show as we were kind of hoping. Oh.
Strunk in a little bit of trouble here on the front straightaway.
Yeah, we had a 3-wide situation there with the 2 Paradigm drivers and Ryan Strunk in the middle, and Strunk made incidental contact with Randy Mullins. I don't think this is going to be over yet by a mile shot either, so we'll continue to watch this play out.
I can tell you that the Paradigm guys are probably a little tired of seeing that 77 machine around them.
Now, even if they're not, I'm gonna talk it up like they are.
That's a good narrative for that. I like it. Right now, Strunk is leading Vincent Crowe and Randy Mullins. Crowe down to the inside, seeing if he can slide past him, but does not have the speed, unfortunately. He's going to end up right back where he was behind Strunk and just trying to gain as much as he can as the sun appears to be setting here at Miami. Ooh, slide out of Vincent Crowe. A bit of a loosey-goosey there for him on the exit out of 3 and 4. Keep that in mind. We talked about it twice so far already. The exit out of 3 and 4 is a squirrely one. And let's see how things go here up in the front.
I think
Clayton
Hoffman's
Hoffman.
taking him to Applebee's again.
I love it. How did you put it again? For the Gap Plate special?
You got the 2-for-1 special.
The 2-for-1.
The Applebee's.
The Applebee's, that's the one.
Hoffman, probably the best race I've ever seen him put together. And I've had the luxury of calling him multiple times all season last year in NIS and A Open. And it just seemed like every time he'd get up there, something stupid happened, take him out of it. But tonight, really, really putting forward a great performance and showing the caliber of a driver that he is capable of being. Clayton Hoffman wins a lot of races, but I just unfortunately have not had the luck to call him to a victory yet.
Only I would have picked him, or someone would have picked him.
This is
wait.
Yeah, we missed our chance.
I did pick him. Who the fuck?
Right.
I quit picking him last year when we were teammates, and I jinxed him out of 3 races.
Oh, that sucks. That's unfortunate. Right now, we've got 2 of our picks in the top 3. I don't think any of us picked Paul Hill, unfortunately, but Paul Hill is showing us up right now. 17 places up right now, less than a second off of Clayton Hoffman.
Wait, I do believe Sheldon had Paul Hill, didn't he?
Oh, did you pick Paul Hill tonight? I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Freebie, that was your pick tonight.
I jinxed another one, guys.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you did. That's okay. As commentators, that is our privilege.
He's lurking around the top 5. Don't be so long-faced.
There's still a race yet to go, my friend. 151 and a 167, so we got 17 laps to go.
Tell you what, this thing has flown by. There you go, looking at DeCiani, though, going to battle with Preeby again.
Well, Preeby does have a little bit older tires there. That might be the difference.
Yeah, but these two have history tonight. You see DeCiani not cutting any brakes, sliding up the track into the door of the 87. Bouncing off each other into turn number 1. There we go. There's that NASCAR on Fox I was looking for.
This might be a way for everybody to get a new set of good ears.
I was going to say, this is terrifying.
Here comes Preeby with the crossover down the back straightaway. He's going to be able to get to his door here.
Oh, no.
Sending it into turn number 3. He's going to go for the slide job. He's got him.
Here comes the crossover.
He's going to hit him. Oh, DeCiani's going to hit him.
Finish the job.
Finish the job. What a smack. DeCiani absolutely sending it into the fender of Preeby, and we're back on again for another round of it. The absolute battle. My fear is that Preeby's going to send it too hard into one of these turns, and he's going to send it sideways, and DeCiani is going to cut him in half.
Still 4 good years coming on, and a nice meat tray for Big Al.
Well, keep it on ice right now. We're not there yet. DeCiani, sitting in 6th behind Joey Preeby, has lost a little bit of ground to him, but the battle is still on. Up ahead, there's not too much of a battle going on right now between Paul Hill and Patrick Gitter. Hill is just a little bit ahead of Gitter. Gitter is a little bit ahead of Heitman. But still back there, it's the Preeby and DeCiani fight right now. That has got to be the fight on the top of the card at the moment.
We got a bigger one. We got a bigger one coming up here, too. Ryan's Trump into 47. Vincent Crow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait. Here comes DeCiani down to the bottom, up to the quarter panel. Preeby coming out of turn number 2. I'll throw a little bit of air on that spoiler, try to get side by side with him into 3, and he's going to be there at his door. How aggressive is DeCiani going to be here? You saw him just about turn him a few laps ago. He'll give him plenty of room. I think Preeby might have learned a lesson. Don't race that guy so hard.
Oh, he's giving him room, but not anymore, though. Down into the straight. There we go. A little bit of breathing room as they go down into the turn. Enough momentum out of DeCiani to take the position. Will he get a little shove, though, from Preeby? We'll see. Contact for contact. It would only be fair.
Preeby Dives back down to the bottom.
In that position. He is definitely going to fight for it. You're going to have a battle going here, guys, for it until somebody burns up a set of tires.
Wow, did you see Preby's loose?
Oh, Preby. There it is.
And that's the end of that fight. Preby just did a solid do-si-do, slide down to the inside, over the nose of DeCiani, back up to the outside, and then he almost ate it right into the wall. Thankfully, he did not. Almost ate it into the inside wall. He was getting ready to go flying.
And whoever's spotting for Hoffman just told him, hey, you can breathe again, man.
Yeah.
Sliding by. The 77 getting crossed over by the 47 now. As these two have been battling for a while here, not wanting to give up. And if you remember, Ryan Strunk and Brandon Pasalacqua were right there side by side. So with 10 to go, Strunk lost his momentum just enough that now he's also in danger of losing another position. So he finds himself almost in the same set of Nikes that he had himself in the last time he had good tires. So,
the 77 very down low for a big block. He just tried to block Jay Hone really hard. Hone sideways.
Hone saves it.
Almost loses it across the middle there, across the apron, across the start finish line. Manages to hold on to it, but that's going to be a spot for him. Ryan Strunk moves forward now into the 9th position, up 26 from where he started, as we are in the last 10 laps of this race.
And that's what we talked about, where it was going to be critical. This is where it's going to come down to tires at this point, guys. There's no fuel conservation, so it's going to be who held out for the longest, the best with their tires. Who's going to have the strongest tires towards the end? Because it's going to take every bit of that to be able to make a pass at this stage in the race.
And who could be looking for a pass at this stage of the race but Patrick Gitter, who's trying to get back to second place from where he lost it, unfortunately, to Paul Hill a few laps back. Gitter is poised, not quite with the speed he needs. He is one of the guys on the oldest sets of tires right now. So unfortunately, he's in a tough position. He loses a position right there to Derek Heitman. Heitman pushes Gitter off the podium, making it Hoffman, Hill, and Heitman. Triple H for the 1-2-3.
Anybody remember Triple H? Well, he's going to be here again tonight. And I'm just hoping that it comes home. I'm hoping that Hoffman can keep it just that way. But guys, they're still going to have some guys further back that are trying to make a run for it. We're just going to see. I think everybody might be running out of time. As long as we can keep the green flag out, I mean, I think this might be what we're looking at.
So if you look back just a little bit, Preby is working his way back into the tire tracks of DeCiani. That fight, I don't think it's completely over yet. With just 5 laps on the board.
Man, I can't wait to see how this wraps up in these last 5 laps here. Preby is within his rights at this point to kind of put it to the tail of DeCiani. He did get a really good bump out of him earlier on, but the two of them have had their clashes here and there during tonight's race. It looks like they're going to be right next to each other for the big finish here coming up in about 5 laps.
Preby working that outside line through the corners, building the momentum down the straightaways, doing everything he can to try and get himself to the back bumper, that number 1 machine. But is he going to have the time to do it? He's got a faster car right now.
Just barely, just barely. Time is slipping away from him as another lap ticks down.
Well, also
Just
catching
like
him is one thing.
sun.
Passing him is another.
That's true. That's very true.
Yeah, especially at this track, at this stage.
Yeah, one is just a lead-in into the other, unfortunately. But you've got to make that transition yourself. You've got to have the momentum once you're there to make the pass. It feels like a totally separate fuel tank. You got to kick in the car once you want to get around the car in front of you, much less get up to them.
Here we go.
Here he is, up to the outside.
Oh, up into the fence, pushing DeCiani up into the fence a little bit too. Gonna get down to the inside here, coming out turn number 2. Preview, they're going to make contact on the back straightaway. And they're beating off each other here.
They are absolutely ramming into each other. Preview saying, get off the side of my car. DeCiani coming down.
It's not over. A little bit of smoke in front of him. What was that from? DeCiani holds the point, though. 2 laps to go here at Homestead.
Up ahead of them, it's side by side with Heitman and Hill. Or excuse me, it's Hill and Gitter side by side for third. Hill into the wall. Doesn't lose any speed, though. Gitter's still behind him.
Ryan Strunk and Jay Honey trying to see if they can affect the flagship position.
Well, good news for Hoffman. The white flag is in the air. The race is official from here. 1 lap to go from Homestead Miami Speedway. And man, that 92 machine, he has just been on it all night from 33rd to 2nd in the first stage, 2nd to 1st in the second stage. And since that green flag came out in the second stage, it's been nobody else's race but Clayton Hoffman. Into turn 3 for the final time. Checkered flag in the hand out of turn number 4. The man with the magic in the Magic City is going to be Clayton Hoffman, and he's going to win here at Homestead Miami.
Solid win from Hoffman. What a shot. Joey Preby giving DeCiani a massive shot during the final turn, and then a final parting one to grow on. What a rivalry that played out. What a race that played out for Gitter, for Hoffman, for Hill. We had names all night that we could name in this race in terms of who did some amazing driving. We're going to give them a little moment to come down, and then we're going to rate some burnouts. Let's see him. Here comes our leader, Hoffman. What do you got for us? Well, okay, forward and back into the wall a little bit. Points off for that. Back into the wall.
He's trying to pass post race tech right now.
Yeah, he's trying to pass it, yep. That's a good one.
he just came on the radio, he said the car is illegal. There ain't no way you can prove it's not, Kenny.
Hey, look, here's the deal. Guys, you can say what you want, but in reality, he's just beating up a Toyota, right? Let's be real.
It looks like he's the only one burning down a little burnout right now. I'm going to give him 2 points off overall for hitting the wall, but I think the rest is a pretty perfect score.
Smashing that Toyota.
I'm going to have to give him a perfect score, man. He had to pass tech somehow. That's ingenuity right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him just a triple digit 100, 100%. Way to go, Clayton.
I love it. You gotta love to see it, folks. Hey, let's do the top 10. Let's break down the race, give you an idea of how people cross the finish line in your top 10. First things first, Clayton Hoffman came across the finish line. After that, it was Derek Heitman, Patrick Gitter in third, Paul Hill in fourth, Matt DeCiani in fifth, Joey Preby in sixth, Brendan Pasalacqua in seventh, Vincent Crow in eighth, Jay Hone in ninth, and Josh Schaffner rounding out your unofficial top 10. Take it away, Al.
Ryan Strunt's coming across in 11th with Randy Mullins in 12th. 13th place shows Brian Johnson with Bacon Zelenka in 14th. 15th, Jeremy Clapper Newell. 16th place shows Tim Wortman Jr. Greg Wojcinski in 17th. Alexander Carr in 18th. 19th for Randy Drumhiller. And David Gervais rounds out the top 20.
It's going to be Mark Sanchez, followed by Randy Belk in 22nd. 23rd, going to go to Connor Banks, followed by Chuck Burley in 24th. 25th is going to be Jason Han, and Nick King is going to bring it home in 26th. 27th is going to go to Paul Olson with Kenny Powell after a heartbreaking ender to a really good run today. Going to bring it home 28th. 29th going to Greg Carr, and running out the top 30 is going to be John Bender.
Bringing things home. 31st, Kevin Zosiak. 32nd, Jose Medina. 33rd, Jerry Walters. 34th, Chris Crosby. 35th, Blair Holloman. 36th, Dave Hughes Jr. 37th, J.C. Evans. And with that, folks, we're going to take a quick ad break. And when we come back, words from our winners. So stay tuned. More coming up.
You gotta get down to Hooters, have a drink, catch the game, get yourself some awesome wings. It's the place to do your thing. You gotta get down to Hooters. Here she comes, a girl next door, hanging with good friends and more. Come on, what you waiting for? You gotta get down to Hooters. So get on up and get on down to Hooters.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back with ISCA Live's Hooters 250 post-show. And right now we're going to have some interviews with some of the podium sitters for tonight's race. That's what the term I'm going to use. We're going to start things off by talking with Patrick Gitter here. I'm going to talk once again with the winner of Stage 1, who went on to finish third tonight. Patrick, how you feeling after tonight's race?
Hey, Joe. Feeling pretty solid for P3. I like it. We had some weather variation from what we tested on earlier in the week, and I think for me personally, how I wanted to drive the car was just had struggled a little bit in certain areas of the track than I was used to, and so it was. I kind of mentioned it at the end of Stage 1, where we were playing with that a little bit. So saw that mid to end of the run, and once I saw Clayton's pace, once he got up to the front, I was like, all right, he might walk away with this thing.
Well, it looks like he did, unfortunately for you in that situation. But you were running it pretty good there right up until the end of the race. You stayed up ahead of all the bad business. Tell me, did you have a saving strategy for your tires there? Because you didn't look like you ever got loose or ever had any trouble with control during the course of the night.
Man, I'm glad it looked that way. I was holding on for dear life at the end of it. I was pushing it hard, trying to get as much position as I could at the end. Paul and I had a really good battle there last couple laps. It wasn't really any particular strategy. Honestly, I was trying that last stage. The last restart. I was trying to set something up on Clayton early to give myself a chance, and then we got into 3 and had some traffic, and it didn't work out. I think that was really my only shot at contending at all. If I could just get position and try to defend.
Yeah, and by that point it was a little bit more difficult, as we saw. You did have a pretty good shot during the third stage there. I saw you were pretty close, but when you fell off a little bit, you were still able to hold on to that third place win and defend against Paul Hill there, who was really giving you a bit of a hard time, it looked like, especially during stage 3. So wanted to say congratulations again. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to or thank tonight for your performance? Yet again, since we have you up here?
Yeah, definitely you guys in the booth for broadcasting, Kenny for running the lead, Clayton he was lights out tonight, so he definitely earned that one, well deserved. Derek had a great race tonight too, so he was up there at the end where it mattered. Shout out to Matt, he helped build a phenomenal car this week. I think we'll walk away with some things we can tweak to make it a little bit better, but I mean, it's been lights out all week, so shout out to him, Fortis Motorsports, and looking forward to next week.
All right, well, thank you very much yet again, folks. That was Patrick Kidder, your third place winner tonight. I am going to pass things now up to Sheldon Atkins, who is going to talk to second place Derek Heitman. Take it away, Sheldon.
Yeah, sitting here with second place Derek Heitman in the booth. Man, talk about a roller coaster of a night. You know, start up front, run around the top 5 the entire first stage. A little bit of what looked like netcode contact between Preby and DeCiani took you around into... Well, you basically became the pinball wizard there, man. Did you think your race was done?
Yeah, honestly. Had over 2 minutes of damage and got it fixed. Drove the absolute hell out of it to try to get back up to where I was. Sorry, I'm sitting here. I'm a swamp right now. I was driving so hard to get back up there, but yeah, I looked at the replay under yellow, and I don't know. I didn't really see any netcode, honestly, but you know, it's racing.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I got turned, but all in all, it worked out. I was able to come away with a P2.
Yeah, no, man, a phenomenal performance and great job, not throwing in the towel, because we were, Big Al up here in the booth was basically just saying, man, he just needs to bring that thing in and park it. It's over. Put it behind the wall, because that's what he does to his self-testament. But great job wheeling that thing and getting it back up there. And how did you feel about the performance of the machine, though, with the fenders, without the fenders? How was that number 76 running tonight?
Well, luckily, I was able to keep all the fenders on it. I think once I realized I wasn't going to be able to save the car, I had the wheel about a full 180 lock to the right when I was sideways, and last thing I wanted was for it to catch and go into the outside fence, so I just stood on the gas pedal to essentially wreck it down the track. And I got hit pretty good. Big Al should know me better than that. I don't quit. He's seen me around here long enough, so... Car was great. We offloaded with a great piece. Ken always does a great job building for us every single week over at Ryco. All my Ryco teammates that put in a ton of time turning laps. Roger, Sean, Quentin, Joseph, and of course myself. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple people, but I mean we all just essentially just put the hammer down to try to be the best we can every single week. And if we don't feel like we're the best, or if we can be better, we always keep trying. So it's good to have a team like that behind me. Shout out Victory One Esports. Like I said, Ryco Performance. My teammates Matt and Pat over at Fortis, they build a good machine every single week. And Clayton for winning the race. You guys for putting on a great show, I'm sure, and Kenny for putting on the league.
Thanks, sir. Derek, thanks for coming up here and sitting with us in the booth, and great job on the perfect recovery, if you will. Looking forward to seeing you on track again next week.
Yep, just one shy of perfect. Thanks, fellas.
And we'll hand it on over to Big Al with our race winner.
Baden Hoffman, Big Al up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to give you one. You came out tonight. You didn't qualify. You put down the fastest lap of the race, and you had the fastest last lap of the race. You started this thing off in 33rd. You made it all the way up to, I believe, second place by the end of the first stage. And once you took over, you never looked back. So the first question is, man, how does it feel?
I mean, it feels good to, came home after a long day at work today, made a couple changes to the car, and picked up a good bit of speed, so I felt really good going into the race. The car hasn't changed a whole lot since I think I won here last year in the fall. I can't remember for sure or not, but I remember I had a really good car. I think I just ran away with it last year, and when you have a good car, you pick up a lot of speed. It feels good. I didn't really have to feel like I really had to do a whole lot. I just had to, keep the car in one piece, and I needed to test the car in traffic. I don't really have time to run officials really unless I sacrifice time doing other stuff I need to do. So I wanted to test the car in traffic there at the beginning of the race, slow track state and all that. So I got that done. It was pretty much, it handled how I expected. Honestly, a little better with this new update. Still trying to, figure out exactly how the track changes throughout the course. Some of the stuff's still the same, but I think with the new, how the lanes heat up, you can kind of change your wear a little bit more than you used to be able to. So, got to learn a little bit more about that, and just worked my way to the front. By the time I figured out I made it to 15th, I was like, all right, I'm still going forward, and just gonna keep working on it. We had a caution came out, and that kind of worked out perfectly for me, honestly, in that first stage, because it gave me a chance to let my tires cool down. I used up a decent bit of it running the top a bunch, and got to see kind of like a wear versus temp type of situation there, and it seems like learn a little bit about how the temp affects the tire versus wear, and just how that kind of balances out there. It's a little different than it used to be. Not a whole lot, but I think it is a little bit different.
So that I'll just throw my next questions all together. There is a new version. You mentioned using your old setup, and I'm wondering how that first stage did help you adjust to determine when to come in for that green flag pit stop.
I mean, in the last stage of the green flag pit stop is basically stay out as long as I can, because my car was just so much faster on the long run. Track was cooling down. I think I don't remember the time. I just remember we started the last stage. The in-sim time was about, I want to say it was like 4:15 p.m. and I knew the track was going to get cooler. My car was already on the verge of being too tight, and I did everything I could just to pretty much stay out in clean air, to try and have the most air on the nose possible. So I just went pretty much as long as I could. I saw Pat pit, and I just went 2 laps after him just to try and make sure I kept that clean air. Last year we had a really close race in another race, not an ISCA, and it really just came down to whoever came out of the final green flag pit stop with clean air, because it was just so hard to pass each other. And I got lucky there, and came out ahead and got the clean air and was able to kind of set sail.
Next week we head to Martinsville. I mean, from the 1.5 miles to the shortest track on the circuit, what can we expect from you?
No idea. I've never figured out Martinsville in this car, so I'll probably test and try some stuff. But it's gonna be a roll of the dice. I have no idea.
Well, perfect, boss. Who you shouting out for your victory here tonight in the ISCA Hooters 250?
Just shout out to all the guys that raced me clean and good. I had a good time there. Hopefully I didn't mess anybody up there driving around some people there at the very beginning. But shout out to all the competitors. It's a fun race. Shout out to Hooters for sponsoring the race, Kenny for putting on the league. Thanks to y'all for broadcasting it. Hopefully there's some fun stuff there at the beginning of the race to watch. And looking forward to coming back next week. Martinsville will definitely be a track that someone's going to hurt someone's feelings at some point. So it'll be interesting how that goes, and it'll be interesting just to see what kind of pace I'll have there, since that is not. I'd say it's probably one of my weakest tracks on the circuit right now.
Roger that, boss. Enjoy the win. As I always say, don't party too hard. And we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Okay. I think that's going to be it for the interviews, and I think that's going to be it for us here from the ISCA Hooters 250. Let's do a quick recap. How you feeling after that one, Big Al?
Wow. I mean, that was an exciting race. I hope that we gave a little bit for all of our viewers, man, and I hope that the drivers go back and watch this thing as well. I enjoyed watching it live, and hey, thank you guys, man, for being on either side of me here, keeping me warm in the booth. You know, I feel like I'm a little dude amongst you guys. And hey, thanks for Kobe down there keeping that truck warm, and thanks for Kenny for putting it all on, man. Let's do it.
All right, Sheldon.
Just gotta say once again, huge shout out to Clayton Hoffman for a dominating performance. Nobody could have hung with that 92 machine, and that was obvious to see at the start of this thing when he cut his way through the field. And the next takeaway is, man, we saw so many little fights breaking out between a handful of drivers, and as we see it pop up on the screen, next week in Martinsville, it's going to be pretty dang dicey. I got a feeling there's a lot of guys here that have a little bit of payback circled on their checklist of things to do right next to going down there and getting a pit road hot dog.
All righty. You saw it, folks. Martinsville next week. Thank you to Kenny Powell for putting it on. Thank you to Hooters for sponsoring. And thank you for watching, folks. Remember, you can check out iscaracing.com for the schedule and more information. Please stay in touch with us on Twitter, on Facebook, on Twitch, wherever you see ISCA. That's where we are. So once again, this is Joe LaCastro, Sheldon Atkins, and Big Al, and Kobe Jordan up here in the booth, saying thank you for watching the ISCA, and have a great rest of your night. Take care, folks. We'll see you next week.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade, and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, maybe a little cleaner driving, and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues, because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check all those boxes, and I've been